All right, so we're going to work on drawing 2-9. 2-9 and 2-10 are totally different from the other drawings because now we're dealing with specific measurements that we have to follow. Before we get started, there are some symbols that we're going to need to know. On the left side of drawing 2-9, there are two big circles with the measurements of 2 and 3. Well, there's a little symbol that has a circle with a slash through it. That is the symbol for diameter. And anytime you see a measurement pointing to a circle and the measurement has an R on it, that stands for radius. So the reason that's important is because that tells us what type of circle we have to draw. Because in our circle command, we have center radius and center diameter. So if a measurement is given to us in diameter, we're going to choose the center diameter circle. If it's given to us in a radius, we're going to choose the center radius because it makes a big difference when we're putting in our measurements. So the first two have a measurement of 2 and 3 inch diameter. So I'm going to select center diameter. I'm going to turn on my snap. And I'm going to start over here on the left-hand side, and I'm just going to click. And the first circle is a 2 inch. So I simply type 2, enter. And that's my 2 inch diameter. I'm going to get the same circle started at the same center point. So make sure you have your O snap turned on and that you have center turned on. And start your circle here. And the next one is a 3 inch. So 3, enter. Now we've got some circles down here that we're going to put in, and we need to put them in exactly the right location. And the assignment sheet tells us that the center of the circles down here has a horizontal distance from the center of this circle to the center of this circle, horizontally speaking, of 5.25 inches. But it also tells us that it has a vertical distance. So if I come straight out 5.25 inches, I still have to drop straight down 2 inches. So I'm going to draw a reference line just so we can see it. From the center point, I'm going to point my mouse this way, and I'm going to type 5.25, enter. And then I'm going to point my mouse straight down. And notice it falls between grid marks. So I need to turn my snap off. Point it straight down and type in 2. Enter. That gives me a 2 inch line. I'm going to enter again to get rid of that. So the end point of that line is the center point for my next two circles. And it doesn't give me the measurements on the bottom circles, but up on the top circles it does. It shows that the inside diameter is 1, and it shows that the outside radius is 1. So I'm going to get a center diameter at the end point, 1, enter. And I'm going to get a center radius at the center, 1, enter. So you can see the difference between a 1 inch diameter and a 1 inch radius. Then I'm going to draw a tangent line between this big circle and this big circle. So in a line, there's a couple ways I can do this. I can either go down here to my OSNAP settings, turn on tangent, but I'd have to turn off the other things that are dealing with circles. So I'd have to turn off center and turn off quadrant. So then you notice that I now have this tangent symbol. So I click on the bottom of this circle and the bottom of this circle, and it snaps in a tangent line. Perfect. Now I'm just going to take this and mirror it up to the top because the top is identical to the bottom. So I'm just going to go mirror. And mirror two circles and my tangent line. Enter. And I'm going to use this middle line as my and then I'm going to get rid of those, just delete those out of there. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in this arc right here that's tangent to these two circles. And according to the assignment sheet, that arc has a radius of 1.25. So I need to put in an arc here. However, there is a certain type of circle that would be easier to put in. It's called a tangent radius, because I know I have to be tangent here, and I know the radius is 1.25. So I'm going to use this. Now it's asking, if you notice the little tag on my mouse, it says specify point on object for first tangent circle. So that's this one. So I click on the bottom of this one. And now it says specify a point on the second tangent of circle. So I'm going to click on this one. Now it says what's your radius? 1.25, enter. And it gives me that circle in there perfectly tangent. So now I'm just going to trim, get rid of this, and get rid of this. And the last thing I have to do is put in my center lines. Now I'm going to show you a little trick for putting in center lines. If you go to the annotate tab, center, if I click on the big circle here, the big arc here, and the big arc here, give me exactly what I need. Go back to home, and 2-9 is complete. Hopefully that was helpful.